Today on Percussion Etiquette, we're talking about the long roll. Here are some simple tips you can use when you're practicing. Tip number 1, practice your roll backwards from your fastest double strokes to your slowest. This will help smooth out your transition between wrist strokes and double strokes. Tip number 2 is to count. A lot of times, the distance from our slowest to our fastest point isn't the same as our distance from our fastest point to our slowest point. So if we give ourselves a count, it could help. Sounds like this. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and never let yourself go from 1 to 4 without making any sort of speed adjustment. As you get faster, you might just want to count quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, or eighth notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Doing that will make sure that your roll is evenly structured from beginning to end. Tip number 3 is for the top of your roll. This is the transition from your fastest double strokes to your multiple bounce roll and back to your fastest double strokes. When doing this, I would suggest not speeding your hands up to create the multiple bounces. Instead, add a little pressure with your middle finger on the stick to make it happen. Sounds like this. The other thing I like to do is play my double strokes really close to being dead center on the drum head, and then when I create my multiple bounces, I slide slightly off center, maybe an inch or so. This lets the head ring a little more, getting a more full sound. It covers up any sort of imperfections that might be in your roll. And then when I go back to the double strokes, I play back to the center so I get a nice, dry, even sound. If you decide to speed your hands up to create the multiple bounce roll, it'll be a very aggressive sound. There'll probably be some more tension in your playing, and it won't match the overall quality of sound that you're trying to achieve for the long roll, and it might sound like this. So you decide which way you prefer to do it and practice it as a separate chunk. If you don't live in New York State, and you aren't attending a NYSMA festival or some sort of solo fest, the multiple bounce element of this long roll probably won't apply to you. I can't think of anywhere else in the world where you have to play a multiple bounce roll on the top of your long roll. Not that it's a bad thing though. My fourth and final tip will help you transition from a wrist stroke to a double stroke. In order to do this, you have to be able to play wrist strokes and double strokes at the same tempo. So give yourselves different tempos to do this with. Bump it up a little bit, go for a faster tempo. Slow it down, try a slower tempo. Try to make them as even as they can be, and try to make the tone and the timbre of the strokes as similar as you can make them also. Doing this will make your transition from wrist strokes to double strokes a breeze, and you'll be good to go. Don't forget, check out our multiple bounce roll and our double stroke roll videos and use those techniques for your long roll. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page, like our Facebook page, and share this with your friends. Have a good one. In order to do this, I forgot to say something about some other things. My fourth and final tip will help you There's a beach ball on the ceiling.